Okay, thank you. September 21st, fall equinox. We're going to do some channeling today. Tomorrow, thank you. Oh, here we have somebody.
I
Yeah,
got it. I got it, honey. It's
thank
all
you.
good.
Thank you. Tomorrow at 8 Pacific, we're going to do some subconscious recoding. But we're going to switch it up. So one week it'll be Wednesday channeling, and the next week it'll be Tuesday, and vice versa for the subconscious recoding. So yeah, I'm going to tap in. Usually there's a collective message first, and I'm going to tap in and then be. Um, Tony has offered to co-host. If you want to keep yourself muted, and if you have a question, audible is fine. Or if you want to type it in the chat, would you mind, Tony? If they type in the chat, is that okay? Okay, and then you, hi, Darla. Hi, I love the heart picture. Yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you. So just all joining together, circling up. I feel you, I feel you, I feel you. Letting all the busyness from the day just be put aside and just open the heart space and just allow unconditional love to flow over us as I connect with the many. Greetings, dear ones. An overall theme is being percolated within the vehicle. We are transmitting. We will say exhaustion. The vehicle wanted to mm, reject this, thinking this does not sound beneficial. But will you please allow us to elaborate? You are on the precipice, shall we say, of where the exhaustion is behind you. What is exhaustion? Of course, it's feeling and you're physical, tired, and no longer wanting to move forward. And we want to tell you that the newness that is upon you is, of course, mm, returning you to a vibrance, a radiance, a all knowing and all connective transmission of oneness, and your in that vibratory state, exhaustion is but a memory. Also, exhaust, we will use the word exhaust. The emissions, exhaust being an emission, the emissions that have permeated, let's say, and smogged up and polluted your environment are with your radiance and with your we will say ultraviolet light. This is what we are telling the vehicle. With your radiance, this is cleansing, you see. It is if your complete understanding of what is presented to you in the emotion picture, what is presented to you as reality in the fields of logical thinking, of understanding, do no longer apply. You see, disregard them. This movie presented to you, this picture show playing, um, allowing you to dismiss it. Say, I am going to a new theater. I am partaking of a new actual experience. You could think of it as a play if you would want, but you are a participant and you are no longer accepting. And this play, which you are a key part, a key participant, is allowing the other motion picture to take backstage a no longer a prevalence, and more people will say, I want to be in that play, I want to see that play, I don't mm, no longer wish to see that moving picture that is not of truth, not of light, and they will be drawn to you mm, in many ways. We hope this makes sense. First point, the exhaustion of seeing that it was ever circulating energies that would never dwindle down, or they seem to be eminent in your atmosphere, shall we say, are being cleansed. The exhaust is being cleansed, and the newness is upon you. So, any physical fatigue, let it now go into the vibrance of knowing that is a memory. And by knowing that is a memory, it is bliss, it is joy, it is all encompassing and all permeating. Let it refresh you. Feel in your atmosphere of your play, feel the atmosphere shift, shifting, 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 and allow your brilliance and your true essence, your complete knowing, your resoluteness refresh you. That is our collective message. If you wish us to elaborate or wish to venture to a new subject, please feel free.
Thank you, the many. That was beautiful. I'm kind of giggling a little bit because I just had that conversation with two other people. I thought, are they in my brain?
We are an integral part of this performance. You would say that we are, co-creators. We do not want to say we are directing or we are choreographing it. It is indeed some aspects of that are true. So your coincidences, so to speak, are no coincidence. You may continue. We apologize.
That sounds total in alignment. It's all about it's. I was just using the exact same adjectives you used about the theater, the play, pantomime. You're just there. Yes, you're part of it, but you're not part of it. It's just time to really step into the knowingness, the new atmosphere of what you truly do know in your knowing, and to be it, and just roll and know that all is well. And this is a beautiful message. I'm just giggling right now because I felt like I was in a pressure cooker, and it was really,
was it exhausting?
Yes.
So, indeed, as we relate to you in former information, a former transmission, it is time to not only you are in a physical body, you are experiencing, you have physical aspects to complete and to interact with at a physical level. But your interaction should not be from the physical, your interactions overall. We understand this is a transitioning and this is a moment by moment aspect. There are times that you are completely feeling your emanating love and your radiance, and you are in flow, and you are not overthinking, and you are creating, and you are experiencing in delight. And that ultimately will be creeping in, so to speak, more and more, allowing yourself to be out of the worry and all-consuming thought processes that have weighed down your daily mm, creations and we will say even observations, because a busy mind is overall not observing. It is busy, um, we will say, ping ponging thoughts back and forth. It is a game of ping pong, and allowing yourself to understand what ping pong balls you will allow. But this is even more. It is transitioning and moving to a process of complete mm, no resistance, complete availability of all information of inner knowing, but all information within the field, and allowing that to be in complete non resistance of your unconditional love, opening and allowing the energy of that to permeate your light body, as you call it, or your field, and allowing it to be the operating system. It is the subconscious mind and the mind that are still operating, of course, but the field will overwhelm that, and you will be operating from the sheer knowing and confidence that brings. Confidence in who you truly are, confidence in that it is going to work out, and confidence that you are completely supported. And not only do you not truly need support, but we are here as one because it benefits us as it benefits you, and it benefits the, as you refer to, cosmos. As it benefits you, it benefits us. So as you are run by your programming of your mind, this will more and more not be the dominant operating system. Your operating system is now allowing you to operate from a complete, relaxing, peaceful state of knowing. And that is in the open heart and your energy field around you. It is a unquestioning knowing. And the way to think of it, as you usually lead with your mind, do you not? Your mind is every day considering what things it needs to do, and this is fine, this is normal. But it is not a lingering, well, should I do it this way? Or how many things should I incorporate? Who should I contact? What should I, how should I do it exactly? It is going to be a thought, do, a thought, do. And with confidence, without questioning who will think what, whether it is right or wrong, or whether, if you are navigating from the compass of your heart, there is no questioning. You feel it, you know it, you do it. You think it, you know it, you do it. Therefore, optimizing your interactions and your transactions in this way. When you are fully flooded, you're flooding your field and emanating from your field that from your heart and operating in balance with all your other energies. But it is now, we are telling you, now is the time for, you will see that your thought process will not be overwhelming your day as much as it was before, and this will decrease and decrease. Because the sparking, we will say sparking, different sparking points within the quantum field have are fully receiving, and this is part of the process. And the process of your radiant light and your emanating this, you will no longer feel the need to reverse course if you doubt yourself. You will no longer doubt. It is just a knowing. in completeness. Because you are complete. There is no lack. At this time, you are here to emanate this light and allow others to understand, to be able to speak the words that their ears will hear, and that their wandering hearts and minds will readily demolish, because this is fresh, new, and needed. It is nourishment for them. They have been suckling at the teat of lower vibratory scale of emissions that have wreaked havoc upon their physical body and wreaked havoc upon their mental bodies and wreaked havoc on their energetic bodies. And you are no longer in havoc. You will see it transitioning, you will feel it and allow it. It is somewhat like freeing your mind. Your mind is now free to receive. What is the next thing? Perfect. Do it, allow it, and don't be cumbered by the prior nonstop muddlings of the mind. Therefore, your dominance and eminence of love, that which they feel, that which they desire, and they are malnourished in this. And the malnourishment is great. So, in meaning that it is numerous. Your vibratory essence and your emissions of verbiage and your emissions of energy and your emissions of already arriving at the place that they will also be. It is not that you are separated, it is that they haven't received that nourishment yet. They are only separated by the nourishment. So you nourish them in love. And then once they receive and they begin to, it is the correct analogy of baby with a milk, or so to speak. It is the correct analogy. It's some nourishment here, some nourishment there, but the rapidity or rapidness of growth is because it is no longer the transitioning points where many of your kind have had to navigate through years of understanding and years of acquirements and attunements. The nourishment from you is so dense in nutrients that when they receive, they develop quickly. There is no lack of the numbers which will receive a maturation from your nourishment. There is vast amounts, and there are many nourishers, as you know. So allow yourself to be nourished in the open heart, all-knowing, and no longer boggled with the mind. You will see. It is flowing in. The mind is merely that of the physical, and it is getting to become less and less dominant. Receive wholly. Open your hearts. Open your hearts and receive that unconditional love and let it flow from you. Do not doubt. Do not think that this is quackery or the picture show that we alluded to is, shall we venture to say, the quackery. It is the falsity of paradigm. It is the falsity of the restraints, as we referred to before, as the boxes people place themselves in based on the paradigm. But your radiant and radiance emanating performances that are dominating your reality now, and realizing them, it will be well seen, well heard, and well received. We apologize if we elaborated too long.
Oh, that was beautiful. That was amazing. It was especially the part where where you expressed that we are no longer separated. The only separation is from lack of nourishment. And that makes so much sense, you know, and it's really just a transition, as you so eloquently shared, you know, from those transitioning from the mind into the heart. And as we share our radiance, people will see it and become it. And that's all we can do. We don't have to try to convince or, you know, drag or whatever you want to call it, but just be in the beingness of the heart. And so that was very beautifully explained. Thank you for sharing that.
And you paraphrased or reiterated it quite eloquently as well.
Oh, thank you.
No persuasion, no convincing. They feel, they see, and they yearn, and rightly so. All your gatherings to this point, each of you uniquely gathering, so you would see it as a vast variety of garden, many herbs and many varieties. And some of you have gathered one, and others have gathered others, and some of you have some of the same, but there are differences. And when you combine them all, it is the exact nourishment. The exact nourishment. There are some things that flow. And as one has gathered, the other receives, and the other also understands. So you nourish each other. And now you are soon to nourish the masses at a vast scale.
So beautiful. Does anybody have any questions for the many that they'd like to ask? Darla?
At the moment, I'm actually thinking of a question. I'm not sure where to really go. You know, when you're asking the many, you want to make sure that you're really precise so you're getting real deep clarity. So I guess that would be my question in regards to my current production. What would be the many's suggestion to stay in alignment to make sure that I achieve my destination?
We will say, first of all, not to even consider that. It is not a possibility disregard it and do not even entertain that that would be feasible, and allowing yourself not to even consider that. For the freeing of the mind of which we spoke includes that type of thought. Dear one, you feel it, you know what you have received and what you are giving, and you know your heart is open. And through that navigation, there is no question. We do not mean to sound, we are not like correcting you in any manner. It is a perfect analogy to bring to your attention as to what the newness upon you will be, that those type of thoughts which are typical, that is what we mean when we are not wanting you to think that we are correcting you, because it is not. It is absolutely perfect that you ask this question, because it is standard, but it is the old standard. We are coming into the new standard, and you will feel it. Those kind of questions will no longer linger, because you will be in absolute oneness, not only with each other more and more, but also with you. Oneness in knowing and absolute assurity that you are aligned, you are correct, you are complete, and you are contributing vastly with your compass of your heart. We understand these thoughts come in, but we want you to know these thoughts will be diminished more and more. And we are not talking about a year's time. We are not referring to that. It is upon you. In the physical, you are encountering all the daily physical needs, not only of yours, but of others. You are encountering the physical aspects of communicating with those who have not yet been nourished, and some who are just receiving nourishment. And therefore, there will be varied types of communications, and thus, in the old paradigm, in the old, when we say the new standard, there will be times when things may be said or things may be perceived, we will say. And that would even cause a thought process to begin. Did I say it wrong? Did I relay that correctly? Or different thoughts. This is normal, but this will be diminished more and more. And you will be operating from a, shall we say, a newness of experience. We will not say perspective. That was the first word that we were entertaining, but it is not a perspective, it is actual experience. And we say the new standard. So we applaud your question because it is valid. But we want you to open up to knowing the new standard you will no longer question, because you are complete and you are, we will say, the spark points. When we say spark points, we are showing the vehicle, the consciousness. You would say it like a grid. This is for her basic understanding. But there are sparks, and these sparks are delivering new vibratory essence that are being received, and you will refer to them as codes and sacred geometry, and that is correct in that your understanding. But it is all light, and it is all, we say sparks because that is a good analogy for your understanding. So when these sparks traveling through the consciousness and through the, we will say, percolatory vibrance of this new standard, this new we refer to as a play, but we do not want you to think it is play as it is something just to view and walk away from. It is actuality. In this new standard, in this new reality, shall we say, it is going to diminish the ping ponging of thoughts and the wonderings. It will be knowing, completeness, oneness, and a surety for those whose hearts are open and receiving all this newness. So, that was a long answer to your question. So, your question right now, we would say, let it go. And the newness is upon you. You are completely well nourished and absolute eminence of source, that which you are. Emanating source, emanating the one as we are. You see, we are equal as well. Do not look upon us as we're in what you refer to as a different dimension. This is a different vibratory plane. But these vibrations are now entering these sparks, and we are all one. There are times when you may say, or will let you know, put it that way, that when we have arrangements and we have discussions, but it is then the completeness of knowing that it is perfect as you are. You are perfection. Does perfection question their perfection? We don't question your perfection. We don't. Feel your perfection. It is not of ego. It is not. It is of knowing of your completeness, that you are of source, you are part of source, we are all. And that is perfection. So, if that ping pong ball of wondering whether you are doing the right thing or in alignment or doing everything you can, remember you are perfect. And feel your passion and your creativity and your oneness, and feel your heart flowing in the quantum field and the love circulating around you. And go back to what you were doing. We hope this is helpful for you.
Thank you.
You're
That was beautiful. Thank you, the many. That was really beautiful. Our Darla has very much shifted her energy. She's so effervescent. She's really gone through some beautiful transitions of recent, and it's very much showing in her energy. She's such a beautiful soul.
And it
So
has
part of
served her well.
Yeah.
And it serves us well.
Yes.
And it serves, we say we are the many for the many. So it serves the many well in both aspects and regards. Remember, the exhaustion is behind you, and those thoughts are exhausted. They are. Don't let them take your complete knowing and bliss and completeness and perfection away from you. They are like little, we don't want to say leeches, but that is the analogy we are giving. They'll leech away at your energy. It is normal, we understand, but it is normal from your growing points on your journey and on your path forward. You will see. We are so excited. We are so excited for this time. We cannot hardly contain ourselves. We are celebrating. In your perspective, if you watch the picture show being portrayed, and indeed there are seeds of truths and actualities and things that are transpiring. But we know this is transitioning, and ultimately, there's a new show in town.
Thank you, the many. Miss Ruth, did you have a question?
I just wanted to say thank you so much for today. It's just been so consolidating, everything that's been spoken today, because I have been speaking about a few of these things this week. And I just feel even my own upliftment, I feel like I've just been sealed into source. Probably for the first time in my life, completely sealed into source. And I feel like this is the most powerful, I don't know, this equinox that is just happening right now in the portal, and the energy is just amazing, you know, and for the first time, I actually can feel what I imagine would be being sealed into source. And it just feels so good. And I still have my little, you know, bits and bobs that I get upset about. But at the same time, my heart of hearts, I'm solidly feeling my heart connection over my brain. And every time you spoke, everything that you said today, it was the difference between heart and mind and heart and brain. So I just wanted to thank you for that. And because it's so confirming that, you know, you're even speaking of it this week. And I know that we've always spoken of these things, but I feel this week that consolidation has actually taken place. Would you have more to add on that?
The lightning bolts of illumination and the pivotal points are indeed timed with the solar structures, and these things are all orchestrated for your benefit. Indeed, your we will say in a way the vehicle is questioning this, but we will say your true reincarnation is upon you. Your light substance illuminating that which was always there and always is, as we will say choreographed with the planetary bodies and the source emanating, percolating, dominating. And when we say dominating, because it permeates everything of which there is, the particles of light becoming the additions to the sparks of which we speak. We are going in a manner that may be befuddling for some, but we know you understand. Your sourcings and your receivings at this time are, again, there's no coincidence. There is no coincidence whatsoever. You are filled with these understandings as it is, we will say, timely, placed in the appropriate manner as the center point. The firm pull, we will say a may pull is what we're showing the vehicle. A pull with those who are connected and circling in support and allowing the song to begin to fill their hearts and fill their essence, the song of the universe. We are all singing. We are celebrating. Indeed, we are. So, Miss Ruth, you eloquently relayed exactly what is transpiring, and it is of no consequence that your particular we will say energetic attunement and your whole knowing and your resources are vast, and your resources circulating around you and your field, and you will be astonished as more and more realizations and understandings are received energetically, and a full knowing. You will be beyond astounded what you have already been. So in this regard, when we say maypole, it is that there is a although oneness, there's not, you don't want to say hierarchies, but there is a overall structure, an overall structure that which information filters through and that which deliveries can be received. And these structures have many solid points, many legs to the table, so to speak, and many areas that are firm and strong, supporting the nourishment, supporting the receiving, supporting the completion, supporting the vastness of which is upon you. And you would say center structure for you, maybe different than a maypole, but a center support. It is not greater than or lesser than. It is all completely beautiful in its transition. We hope this is makes sense to you. We sometimes uh, mm, translate different than it may be understood, but overall, we think this serves you well.
Well, thank you so much. The maypole is exactly what we're being shown. You know, it was like a diamond ring, and the explanation was just so much the same as the maypole. It's amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you for confirming that.
You are very welcome. Thank you.
That was beautiful. I saw a lot of synchronicities as Ruth Elizabeth has shared so many messages with us on our journey and nourishing us, as you say, nourishing us, as she is so enthusiastic in her sharing of her beautiful knowledge. It's just total alignment right now, just complete total alignment.
Would you be surprised to hear that you nourish us? Would that surprise you? Indeed, you do. For many understandings and many other ways of, I'll say advancement for your understanding, are from the vast array of experiences and situations and circumstances that all contribute. Everyone contributes. So you nourish us as well, and we nourish
So we're more than just entertainment then.
you. Indeed.
That is good to know.
We our entertainment, as you would say, is the co-creation of and assistance for Gaia and assistance for all of her inhabitants in the advancement of you refer to as ascension, but this is also for many occurrences within the cosmos. Understandings have been derived, and that continues. And truly, that will always be so. There will be some, and this is not that you are ascending to an absolute perfection, but it is an ascension of the dominating structure and the overtones of, we will say, judgmental biases. This is important. There are many aspects to this. We are not hitting on every aspect, but after ascension, it does not end and you live in just completion forever. There are still more things to gain and understand, and more nourishments to receive, and more creations. Is always creating, always changing, and but this particular point is in its entirety highly beneficial in many ways. All things are beneficial, but this is a celebration and an end and a new beginning all at once. We hope this makes sense.
What a beautiful message. There is a question in the chat from Darla. In the process of experience, how quickly is the information that is gathered then delivered to the whole as a body?
So to clarify, believe that you mean in a physical experience, information gathered.
Yes,
and
physical experience.
And information acquired. And what was the remainder? My apologies.
Darla, do you want to just?
Yeah, in the process of experience. So we go through the experience. Here we are, we go through life and we are experiencing. How quickly, once that information has been gathered, when it goes up to the many, is it gathered and then delivered to the whole as a body? Because we're all connected.
We understand your question. It is instantaneous. So you have your experience, and your experience includes emotions and includes thoughts. Those are instantaneously circulating throughout the consciousness, the cosmos, so circulating through the field. And so essentially that part is instantaneous. Any other realizations from your experience may be depending on your realization. When that realization becomes a thought or an emotion, then it is transmitted. It is quite that simple overall. So your experience, you are at many levels. There's experiences, but mainly experiences that would incorporate anything that transmits to energy, which is everything, would be when you are experiencing it. And when we say realization, when you come to an epiphany, a knowing, and that is in your awareness, then that also is transmitted. Does this make sense, dear one? We hope we understood your question. Did that clarify for you?
That did. Yes.
Excellent question. I apologize for not understanding the written format. But we love to hear it directly from you as well.
Leonard, is there anything you'd like to share or ask?
Hold on. I'll wait till next week. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. This is great.
Thank you, the many. That was so beautiful. Such a beautiful session. So much appreciation and so much clarity. It just feels so in sync right now in just my beingness of knowingness. It's deeper than I felt in a long time, as Ruth said. It just seems it's the now. It just totally feels like the now, and it just makes so much sense. I mean, it did logically in this little brain, of course, but to really feel it in my heart now is just amazing.
Bring it in. Welcome it. Feel it. Enjoy it. All in love.